Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Do it now. Podcast below in the description.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Chris Sims' top 40 countdown list, John. Patrick Mahomes at 1, as you can see. Case Keenum at 40. Everything in between. Who should be the most pissed on this list is the question.
I've met Chris Sims a couple times. I think we had him on our radio show back in the day. Haven't talked to him in years. But I got news for you, Guy. I can't even begin to take this list seriously based on one name and based on one spot, number 10, Thomas Brady, as Matt Slater calls him. Your entire list, I'm sorry, is discredited, let alone rookie quarterbacks that have never taken a snap. They're ahead of guys that we can call them polarizing, even had bad season. You can't do that. I won't even go there. You have Tom Brady 10 on your list. He just threw 40 touchdowns. 40. It wasn't like, he got carried like Peyton Manning. I would get that, right? 40 fucking touchdowns.
They don't win the Super Bowl without him, right?
40 touchdowns, and come on. We just an operation. They hadn't been in the playoffs in 12 years. He clearly dominated. Now, is he in the peak of his powers, Tom? No one's saying that. I'm not saying he's got to be one. But Matt Stafford, Kyler Murray,
Dak,
Kyler Murray.
Well, let me ask you this: if you said to the Ravens right now for this year, Lamar Jackson or Tom Brady, there's a lot of reasons to take Lamar, like a ton. But if you said Ravens, no, your goal this year is to win the Super Bowl. You're trying to this year. Who gives you a better chance to win the Super Bowl this year?
It's just weird because it's complicated. Their offense is so option heavy.
I know.
It's
I think
not
most
in
people,
a vacuum. If it was baseball,
you understand what I'm saying, though? What
base?
gives you the odds to win this? I'm talking about winning the Super Bowl now. Because I think they would probably say Lamar. I think most people would say Lamar. But is Lamar ever going to win a championship?
It's a complicated situation for them. I actually think the other guys are easier. Like if you just gave Sean McVay this season.
Well, yeah, those guys are easier. They're not as good as Lamar.
I think that's a better one.
I agree, but I'm saying I'm trying
easier scheme.
My point is, I'm trying to see how high on the list we can go and still be pissed about it. I think he can be pissed about 4, and that's not even with all the other stuff, Deshaun. That's what's crazy about Tom is throughout his career, everything he does, every year there are reasons for him to be pissed, which he obviously loves. But Dak?
But Chris Sims has something. It's weird. He worked for Belichick for a year. He's hard on Tom. I don't know if they don't like each other personally. I don't know if they butt heads, but he consistently does this. And I think there was a year when you go, 2 years ago, right, when he was leaving New England, if you had done that, I'd be like, okay, you're kind of betting against him. I would understand it. But after last year.
Because everybody, right? A lot of people were.
But it just looked a little off. I think it was fair to go,
he
might be trending the wrong. This is embarrassing. This is absolutely embarrassing. And I would say, listen, I'm pretty critical of Jared Goff. Under no circumstances can you have McCorkle Jones above Jared Goff. That's very disrespectful. How can Mac Jones be the 30th best quarterback in the NFL above Jared Goff?
Yeah, I mean, I fundamentally agree with you, but if this is partly like a projection of what it will look like this year, I mean, okay, that part doesn't drive me nuts. The other guy, to me, after Brady, now I think Cam, it could easily not look good, but if you're Cam, you're like, you got Sam Darnold ahead of me, okay, because that's also a projection, right? And I think if you said to the Niners 3 months ago, you want Darnold or Cam, what are you going to do? They would take Darnold. But that doesn't mean that Darnold is definitely better than Cam Newton, even though
let's go back to Jared Goff. Here's where it does bother me. In what world would the Rams last year have taken Cam Newton over Jared Goff? There isn't one. They would not have made the playoffs with Cam Newton. Like Jared Goff last year was
right, but again,
is
this a let's look forward to this next year? Cam wasn't healthy, second year with the Patriots, Goff's on the new coaching staff, Lions. I mean, I'm with you. Like, I think Goff's getting
was a video going viral of Cam throwing it all over the place
in the rain.
Patriot practice. At New England
in the
Patriot
rain.
Practice.
In the rain. Look, you're talking to the person. I think early on last year when everyone was saying Cam's looking good, not getting his respect. I said no, he's not. He's not looking good. They're running him. They're playing him like a running back. Like that's a different discussion. But I don't know. I can't go to the mat for Jared Goff coming off of last year at this point.
I know, but I give Mac Jones above him. Mac fucking Jones.
All right, if you ask 32 teams right now,
Jones?
You want Mac Jones or Jared Goff for 2021? What would they say?
Jared Goff.
I don't know.
The Mac Jones guy?
If you ask Kyle Shanahan right now, Mac Jones or Jared Goff, what would he say?
Maybe Jared Goff. I don't know. I mean, I don't assume he ever liked Mac Jones.
I'm not assuming
Jones above Jared Goff.
No, that's bad.
Daniel Jones.
That one I agree with. But to me, rookies we're talking about projections and rookies. So projecting rookies, if you think a rookie's good, that doesn't bother me over a guy who's been in the NFL. But
again, I am not a Jared Goff guy, but to have him right next to Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock, he is not that bad. Like he's flawed, but I think Jared Goff's more like 20 to 24 than, again, because he's really getting nitpicked. He's better. A shitty quarterback is better than a guy that has his ups and downs. Like there is a difference.
He should be ahead of Taysom Hill. Yeah. I will say that.
Now,
how about Kellen Mond ahead
of guys?
Kellen Mond ahead of Trey Lance and Justin Fields?
Well, because he loved Kellen Mond.
I get it.
I don't know, man. I just
you don't love having Tua 34 on this list, John, after his rookie year. I'll tell you that, and I can't really argue with him.
Yeah, it's to me. I guess you got to put him on the list, but Fields 39. He's just kind of doing some throw-ins. It feels like there at the end. It's hard to get past 10. You agree? That's like that. That's
I think
like.
So where would you put Tom on this
list? Bayless or whatever. There is no list that can be made where Tom is not in the top 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could have an argument about him being, I think, like 5th. You could go if you wanted to say Mahomes, Rodgers, Russ. I wouldn't put Russ ahead of him after last year, but I could understand you just go. Would you say Deshaun? Some people might.
No.
Some people. There are people that are very bullish on him. You know me. I've historically not been one of them.
He's like kicked out of the league now.
Yeah, but I know, but that's different than that has nothing to do with this list, right?
I know, but he's like literally not in football.
That doesn't have anything. I know, but that's a side issue.
But it kind of does. And two, no one in their fucking right mind watched football last year and was like Deshaun Watson was better than Tom Brady.
Separate issue.
Besides Chris Sims.
Yeah, but that's a different point than whether or not he can play football.
I'm doubling down. One, he's not in football.
I know. I'm
two,
saying the first thing I don't think is a thing when it comes to making a list. But okay, yeah. I mean,
I wouldn't make a list and put Deshaun on it. I just know that right now. Just because I don't know.
That's fine.
I'm never going to play league again.
Yeah, whatever. I got no problem with Deshaun being on the list. But if you didn't put him on the list as an asterisk, that's cool too. But he's just a guy a lot of people have an opinion on, so that's why I think you end up with him on the list. You know what? The other thing I thought when I looked at this list was, are we sure Jameis is winning the job in New Orleans? I mean, I'm pretty sure he's winning the job in New Orleans, but he still has to do it. Because Taysom was, I guess I'm just trying not to make the same mistake I did last year where I completely dismissed Taysom. I thought it would be insane. And then he was better than I thought he would be. Percent chance Taysom beats Jameis.
I'd say pretty slim because they use him so many other places. Like the thing with Jameis, you can utilize Taysom Hill.
You can't use Taysom.
You get to double dip.
Yeah, and then use Jameis coming off the bench in some weird way.
In a weird way, did they placate to Taysom last year? Like kind of give him a shot, and now it's easier to pivot. And then when I say pivot, just put him back to his role, but also can let him play a little more quarterback than he has in the past with Drew. I don't know.
Guy that can make
the best part about having Taysom and Jameis, if Sean Payton was here, I can do whatever the fuck I want with those two guys, right?
Yeah, nobody's agents calling me on a Monday.
Yeah, I don't
My
have
guy's
why
pissed.
are you taking Drew off the field? Like I can do whatever I want.
Guy that can make the biggest jump on this list this year, I would say Wentz, who's at 18. But you could argue Tom. I feel like Tom, the rest of his career is just going to end up in these spots where it's like, well, this is the year it falls off with Tom. I would say Carson.
If I had a nitpick in the 30s,
yeah,
I would rather have Mariota than Tyrod Taylor.
Okay.
I think Mariota. I think there's a Grand Canyon wide gap if I could choose one guy. Ultimately, if you're there, either one's not playing, whatever. But we know, if backups have to play, and let's say a month, I can win games with Mariota. I cannot win games with Tyrod Taylor, in my opinion.
Yeah, you
think
know what I thought
Mariota's
last year?
dramatically better
I
than
thought we
Taylor.
started to overvalue Mariota a little bit after he came in that half, but that's fine. That's fine with me. Yeah, that's fine with me. What do you think of Wentz?
Case Keenum.
Wentz could take. You're on the list. Wentz could make the top 4. I wonder who's 41 on this list. Wentz taking the biggest jump. Who do you think could take the biggest jump?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see
Burrow?
Sam. I think his team's not going to be very good. But I guess that happened with Watson. Watson had more momentum, though, and had been in the playoffs before. Like, he was already viewed as a top 10 guy, right, coming into last season.
Yeah.
Like, could Joe have really good stats and go 5-11 and be viewed as a top 10 quarterback?
5-12. 6-11.
5-12, yeah. So 5-12 is really shitty.
5-12 feels a lot shittier. It does. All right. Let us know what you think of the list down below.